Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Present.
Present. Counsel Chakutis?
Present.
Present. Counsel Calucci? Present. Counsel Field?
Present.
Present. Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present. Counsel LaPierre?
Present.
Present. Counsel Lozey? Absent. Counsel Net?
Present.
Present. Counsel Staubed?
Present.
Present. Counsel Walsh?
Present.
Present. Counsel Seer?
Present. All rise for a moment of silence. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Accept the minutes from the January 8th meeting.
So moved.
Motion made,
Second.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The ayes have it. Communications.
We have communications from the mayor. I am hereby appointing the following as my designees to serve on the Lynn City Council on Aging. Their terms are effective immediately, and they will all expire on January 31st, 2021. Mrs. Diana Chakutis, 39 Thistle Street. Ms. Betty Gonzalez Munez, 115 O'Callahan Way. Ms. Carly McLean, 22 Albion Street in Salem. Mr. Robert Mazzione, 34 Apple Blossom Lane. Mr. Art Akers, 55 Newcastle Street. Mr. Charles Mitchell, 12 Brookline Ave. Ms. Marlene Vassie Eddy, 150 Lewis Street. Ms. Manette Lau, 300 Lynn Shore Drive. Sincerely, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
Motion to approve?
Motion made.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Dear councilors, I am hereby appointing the following as my designees to serve on the Lynn Municipal Finance Corporation Board. Their terms are effective immediately, and they will expire on January 31st, 2022. Mr. Donald Smith, 11 Fisk Lane. Miss Ann Mannion, 408 Broadway. Mr. Justin Sacco, 699 Boston Street. Miss Judith Lewin Callahan, 300 Lynn Shore Drive. Mr. Daniel Richards, 51 Hood Street. Sincerely, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
Wish of the council.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion made, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Dear councilors, I am hereby appointing the following as my designees to serve on the Economic Development and Industrial Corporation Board. Their terms are effective immediately and will expire on June 30th, 2021. Mr. Tyrone Brown, 325 Chatham Street. Mr. Ted Smith, 32 Scranton Way. Ms. Magnolia Contreras, 20 Shepherd Street. Sincerely, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
Motion to approve?
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Dear councilors, I am hereby appointing Mr. Richard Valentine, 27 Bullfinch Street, to serve on the Public Stocks Commission. His term is effective immediately and will expire on January 31st, 2020. Sincerely, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
Motion to approve?
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Dear Counselor, I am hereby appointing Mr. Terry Krawitz, 19 Grosvenor Park, to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals. Her term is effective immediately and will expire on January 15th, 2021. Sincerely, Mayor Thomas M. McGee.
Motion to approve?
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Communications from the Lynn City Council.
We have the council reappointments to the Lynn Human Rights Commission. Pamela Freeman, 442 Chestnut Street, term effective immediately and will expire January 22nd, 2022. Omozi Adusi, 284 Boston Street, term effective immediately and will expire January 22nd, 2021. Michael Ook, 45 Elm Street, term effective immediately and will expire January 22nd, 2021. And Jesse Warren, 5 Ladd Road, term effective immediately and will expire January 2020.
Wish of the council.
Approve?
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
We have a council appointment to the Lynn Human Rights Commission. Diane Cameron, 98 Nels Pond Road, effective immediately and will expire January 22nd, 2020.
Wish of the council.
Approve?
Motion made, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Council reappointment to the Lynn Public Arts Commission. Annette Skies, 161 Lynn Shore Drive, term effective immediately and will expire January 22nd, 2020.
Wish of the council.
Approve?
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Council appointment to the Lynn Public Arts Commission, Tia Cole, 5 Daigle Road, term effective immediately and will expire January 22nd, 2022.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Council reappointment to the Pine Grove Cemetery Commission, Mary Yanakakis, 93 Wyman Street, Arthur Dulong III, 127 Gardner Street, Mary Wright, 41 Woodlawn Street, and Ralph Tyler Jr., 214 Chatham Street.
Motion to
These-
approve.
The
Second.
council made, motion made, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
These reappointments are all effective immediately and will expire on January 22nd, 2022. Correspondence?
Yep, there's a correspondence from me, please.
Correspondence from the City Council President, Darren Seer, to the City Clerk. Dear Mrs. Rowe, I respectfully submit to you my motion to reconsider the vote taken on January 8th, 2019, relative to the ordinance establishing the salary of the Personnel Director. Thank you in advance for your assistance in this matter. Sincerely, Darren P. Seer, Council President.
Wish of the council,
Motion to accept.
motion made,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Councilor Field, do you have something you'd like to say?
Mr. President, I have an ordinance establishing the salary of the Personnel Director in the City of Lynn. Salary ordinance dated January 9th, 2007, relating to the Personnel Director is hereby repealed. The Personnel Director shall be considered a Level 1 department head for salary and benefit purposes. The Personnel Director shall be entitled to all contractual benefits provided to the members of the AFS-ME Local 3147, except that the Personnel Director shall not be entitled to a car allowance or overtime pay. Years of government service outside of the City of Lynn shall not be considered for longevity purposes. The ordinance shall take effect as provided for in the Lynn City Charter.
So wish of the council,
Second.
motion made, seconded.
Second.
Discussion. I just want to say real quick that Councilor Lozey and Councilor Staubed worked real hard on this. They did a really good job. They're looking out for the welfare of the citizens as well as the taxpayers, and I think the council is really standing up on this one to show everybody that we're looking for ways to save money. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staubed?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes.
Looks like we were going to put him last, but he kind of twisted my arm in the back room. A presentation from an ex-council president. Now, the works in EDIC, kind of runs it a little bit down there, but I'm going to ask him to be quick, brief, and right to the point. Mr. Cardell.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. Before you tonight, I'd like to introduce Matthew from UTIL, which, just so everybody is aware, EDIC 100% funded this consultant to be here. They, in 2007, the City Council and the Mayor adopted a master waterfront plan. That document now is over a decade old, and UTIL has been hired to update that. This is just a quick update for this board. Ultimately, there will be a very public process, and the council will hopefully, in its wisdom, adopt a revision to the master waterfront plan. So tonight I want to introduce Matthew. He will give you an update as to where we are. I'm very happy with UTIL, and I'm really happy with the process, which has been very much getting public input from all walks of life. So that, Mr. President, as brief as I can be. Here is Matthew.
Thank you, Mr. Cardell.
Mr. President, members of the council, thank you very much for the opportunity to give you this update. I will make it brief. I will just say for the record that the longer version of this PowerPoint presentation and the work that we've done so far is posted online, so you and the general public can have a look. There's a little delay here, I'm sorry. We are basically on schedule. One of the important things about this plan is we learned very early on that one of the most important things we needed to do was to amend the municipal harbor plan. It's been almost 10 years. They tend to have a 10-year shelf life. that seemed to be the impediment towards progress on the waterfront, and so what we've done was to amend our whole process and fold that municipal harbor plan amendment process into this one, so that we don't have to go through a whole process and kind of start all over again. So probably in the first half of next month, we will have our third public meeting, but it will be our first official municipal harbor plan meeting. And those things will culminate, we think, later in the spring with a clear amendment that, as Jim said, you guys will vote on. The purpose of the revising the waterfront plan is to create a framework that's actually actionable. The most actionable thing we can do right away is to amend the municipal harbor plan, which is state regulation, and to provide other kinds of input to really catalyze development in this area, which has lagged. Very quickly, municipal harbor plan is a kind of state-level regulatory mechanism that allows the city to customize its approach to state-required waterfront access. In amending it, the plan for Lynn, we hope to simplify it, make it a little bit clearer, a little bit more flexible for individual developers to develop as they wish, but also to help fulfill the waterfront master plan. We've had 2 meetings. As Jim suggested, we got a lot of very good feedback. There's a lot of people who know a lot about this district, which is a very complex district. Cut to the chase, I think the high-level takeaways was to really, how do we make sure that the growth that is about to take place in this area, how do we make sure that in some way it benefits all the people of Lynn, and not just the future residents of this neighborhood? And so how do we balance residential development, both the creation and preservation of the jobs that are in this district, in a nice mixed use district? Those are the sort of 2 high-level takeaways. And so we were addressing those as well as we can. This is a very high-level summary of the sort of sequence of planning here. We start with what we call the industrial core, the sewage treatment plant. There are other uses there that are really not going away. But what we're overlaying on top of that is a very robust open space plan that was almost just ratified, which identifies a very feasible and sort of rigorous network of green spaces. And then we imagine gradual mixed growth occurs around that sort of green framework. So as I mentioned, we start with an industrial core. We overlay this green space network, which really sort of anchors our development. As I mentioned, this was developed very recently. It's about to be ratified. It's very feasible and can be developed incrementally. Residential development, as you know, has been proposed for either end. These, as a sort of stage development, allow us to consider maybe little public improvements like a walkway or a loop at each one of these ends. The idea with this whole plan is that it isn't something that happens all at once, but that the public development can accrue as development grows. And then as the district is built out, you see mixed-use development and other kinds of uses filling in along the Lynnway and towards the middle. And eventually, a very important part of the plan is how to enhance those connections back to the rest of the city. And some of those connections are physical, they're about the quality of the intersection, and some of them are having to do with broader transportation networks that will dovetail with some of the transportation planning that's been going on. So I'll leave it there and see if anyone has any questions.
Anyone on the council have any questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the last thing I would say, the 3 plans that Matthew referenced, the municipal harbor plan, the open space plan, and the master waterfront plan, all 3 plans will come before this body for a final vote. It'll be a very public hearing and a public process.
Thank you, Mr. Scotto. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate your time. Public hearings.
We have the petition of Aidan O'Donovan, Cambridge, Mass. for Lynn Organics LLC to allow the operation of a recreational cannabis retailer at 193-195 Oxford Street.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Please come to the podium, state your name and your address.
Aidan O'Donovan, I'm the petitioner. We're gonna set up a PowerPoint real quick, if that's all right? Or would you rather just follow
Sure.
along with the, yeah, great.
Can I get one?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, thank you.
I'll get started while he figures it out, so it looks like. Pull it up there. All right, so, hello board members. I'm going to be reading off a sheet here. I'm not the best public speaker, so forgive me for that, but thanks for having us here tonight. We're the applicant at 193 Oxford Street. My name is Aidan O'Donovan, CEO. Corporate name is Brighton Organics, but I'll refer to the business as Natural Selections, which is our trade name. First, I want to take a moment to thank the varying city departments for kind of streamlining this process. We spent the last several months checking each box of that process. We've completed our hearings with EDIC, the ward councilor meeting, the Lynn Recreational Marijuana Site Plan Review Committee, and finishing with 2 neighborhood community outreach meetings. So we're here tonight to apply for a special permit. From there, our next step would be to negotiate the community host agreement with the mayor's office, at which point we head to the state, to the Cannabis Control Commission for the state portion of our licensure. So that kind of gives you a quick breakdown of the order of operations and where we're at in the process. So as I mentioned, I'm the CEO for Natural Selections. I grew up here in Massachusetts, family all over the Commonwealth. I had been living in Colorado for the last 8 years. I began working in the marijuana industry there in 2009. I've since moved back. I've been living back in Cambridge for the last 18 months. But for the past 4 years in Colorado, I owned and operated a dispensary, Natural Selections, in North Glen, Colorado. I'm extremely proud of everything we've accomplished there. But now that I'm moved back here, I'm focusing full time on the Massachusetts aspect of the business. I can imagine that any dispensary applicants that have come before you before or will come before you, they're planning on complying with the regulations set forth by the Department of Public Health and the CCC. I'm proud to say that our company has achieved those objectives and achieves them currently, the same ones we're striving to replicate here. Those include, among other things, consistency and quality control. It's so important that patients and customers kind of know what they're getting and that it's accurately dosed and the same thing every time. Research and development, we've allotted a lot of time over the past several years for our grow team to focus on research and development, side-by-side comparisons, control variables. It's really new for this industry, and we're excited to bring that knowledge with us. We also really take seriously the atmosphere we're creating in order to ensure the most safe and comfortable experience for our customers, many of whom are not used to purchasing cannabis legally. It's pretty new. And forgive me if I'm talking real fast, but I don't want to take too long of your time here. So. Another one of the most important kind of goals that needs to be emphasized here and is a big goal of our company is to thwart the black and gray market. Having grown up in Massachusetts, I can attest to the fact that the black market for marijuana, it's always been thriving here. And since cannabis became legal 2 years ago, the problem's only actually, gotten worse in a weird way with cannabis being sold by gray market dealers who have their own websites and delivery services, despite operating entirely outside of the law. So these dealers are selling product that's untested, it's unregulated, and it's untaxed. They don't ID their customers. They have no problem selling to minors. And in states when dispensaries are reasonably present, the black market's consistently reduced substantially, just shy of being eliminated altogether. So if a customer has to drive a half hour and wait several hours in line at a dispensary, if there's only one in the entire North Shore, it may be easier to call your black market dealer. But if there's a regulated dispensary nearby, customers will opt to shop there the vast majority of the time. After all, who wouldn't want to make their purchase in a comfortable and classy environment with many options, all of which have been tested and regulated, when it's just as convenient as the alternative? So similarly to alcohol, during Prohibition, the bootleg moonshine thrived. Mafia thrived as a result, but nowadays, 99.9% of alcohol customers, they shop at liquor stores, where the product is clean, it's reliable, there's no criminal element present. So our goal is to put those criminals out of business. And as we found in the 1920s, regulation here works better than prohibition. So next slide here, Dan. So this is an exterior shot of the site. We have an agreement with our potential landlords to put about $750,000 into this building, revamping it. We feel strongly that the greater Lynn area is an underserved market. So our Colorado dispensary, our old Colorado dispensary in North Glen, was one of 6 in the community, host a population of 30,000. I think Lynn has 90,000 people, and it's going to have 8 licensees. So we think that's a good number, and currently there's only one operational, and we think that it's underserved. So we feel strongly that there's no reason to relegate cannabis patients and customers to kind of an industrial part of town, but rather allow them to have access to pick up the cannabis at the same outing as purchasing other retail goods. So this is a site overview, and the next couple of slides are floor plans. We really take seriously the atmosphere we're creating in order to assure the most safe, comfortable, and relaxing experience for our customers and our patients, many of whom are not used to purchasing marijuana legally. A later slide will show our dispensary interior, which you'll see resembles a high-end jewelry store or well-furnished doctor's office. So that's the first floor plan, and you can flip to the second there, Dan. So as you can see from our slides, our location meets the intent of the City of Lynn Cannabis District, which was to mainly site dispensaries, away from schools and houses. We've had a few conversations with the school nearby, and we're excited to have that partnership, and we've listened to their concerns, and I think we've established a pretty good relationship in the 3 times we've sat down. So this picture is a picture from our ribbon cutting in Colorado when we opened there 4 years ago. Store managers, you can see me there in the middle in the flip-flops. And that's the city council of the city of North Glen. So our current dispensary is sited within a strip mall. It's only been good for the area. I have letters I'm happy to provide from the neighboring tenants, including a donut shop, a nail salon, a gardening supply store. They all vouch for our business being there in the same shopping center as them. I also have a letter from the city I can provide that describes their good standing in terms of their municipal code and testifies we've had no issues requiring police presence, and we've passed the city inspections with flying colors. So our security director, Dan Linsky, who many of you have met along the way here, he couldn't be here tonight. He had a conflict. But he's the ex-superintendent-in-chief in Boston. He's a great presenter. I was really upset that he couldn't be here. But he's, every time he talks to a crowd, people feel good about him being the one to secure this. His biggest claim to fame was spearheading the effort against the Boston Marathon bombers, and he's been active in this industry, really kind of making a name for himself, securing the cannabis industry space, and has done he's the best in the business. We pay him arm and a leg, but we wouldn't have it any other way. He's an exciting part of our team. So in our previous hearings in the site plan review, Dan explained in detail the security measures that were being implemented and his intention to not only meet but exceed all the state and local requirements as they pertain to security. So pictured here is an example of our comprehensive security floor plan and the design layout of a proposal, as well as the camera placements, the security measures, As you can see, it's very carefully designed down to every last square foot. It includes a secure check-in window, a reception and waiting area, a patient consultation office, a large sales floor, management offices, secure safe and inventory room. These things they have to be regulated down to the last square foot, and it's something that we take very, very seriously. So it's also important to note that the majority of theft and pilferage in the cannabis industry actually comes from employees. So it's incredibly important to create a strong employee culture to prevent it from happening. I'm proud to say this hasn't been an issue so far for our company, and to say that we've not had any issues with security or break-ins due to our state-of-the-art security systems. So we currently use a system for point of sale called FlowHub. It's incredibly comprehensive. It tracks every gram of cannabis, every plant sold from seed to sales via a barcode system, RFID. And we're planning on using the same software and the same chain of custody procedures here in Mass. The system's also used at our current cultivation site, and similar will be used at our Massachusetts cultivation site, which is located in Fitchburg. It has local approvals and it's under construction. So the last thing I wanted to bring up here tonight is the proposed community host agreement. So, we're excited to offer the full 6% in special taxes and host agreement fees as allowed by law. We're also seeing a lot of communities set aside these CHA fees, they call it community host agreement, CHA, for school systems, senior centers, road pavements, you name it. We're extremely confident this will lead to annual payments over $500,000 a year, $500,000 a year, and we're on top of that the financial consideration. We're also committed to hiring locally. We'll give preference to resumes that we receive from Lynn residents. We've already had a handful of positive conversations with the North Shore Community College. They have a lot of local students, and they also have a thriving horticulture program. So I'm actually sitting down with them in a couple of weeks to discuss job opportunities not only here, but also at our cultivation facility in Fitchburg when it comes online. So that's the hiring locally is a promise that I made to the North Glen City Council when we opened back there when I went to those hearings about 5 years ago. And it's not that we say, okay, we're only hiring local, but we make sure to meet a quota. And we got a lot of resumes. A lot of people want to work in the cannabis industry, and the ones, if somebody's address says Lynn, that'll go directly to the top of the pile. And when you're getting a dozen resumes in a day, going to the top of the pile certainly helps. So we're also committed to being involved with local charities. We value your feedback as far as the different opportunities therein. We're also committed to providing discounts to veterans and other qualified individuals through a subsidized kind of distribution network program. So to conclude, I hope I was able to provide you guys with everything you need to make your decision. I look forward to a long and successful working relationship with the City of Lynn, and thank you for your consideration. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. If you want to take a seat right there, and if the councilors have any, they'll be asking very shortly. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else? Please come to the podium. State your name and your address, sir.
Hello, everybody. Matt O'Neill, 59 Stanley Road in Swampscott. I own the Blue Ox right next door. So as an adjacent property and a butter, I'm in support of the facility next door. I think it'll add great value to the downtown. The building needs a lot of revitalization, and with the building going up across the street, the community, the development, the waterfront plan, I think it'll be a nice addition to the community. And as we see these things pop up, I think the impact will be lessened, and this will be something that, in favor or not, is something that we're going to look at, down the road everywhere we look. So that's why I'm in favor. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Sir, please state your name and your address.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. James Cowdell, 3 Mary Ellen Drive, Lynn, Mass.
Moved, huh?
Pardon me?
You moved?
Yes. Well, 15 years ago. EDIC played an important role. We followed the process that was adopted by the City Council. We were the first point of contact with this company. You really will not find a better applicant as far as the financial resources that they bring to the table, the experience that they have. Checking in Colorado, everything came back 100% positive. The building that they will be going into was a vacant building. It's been vacant 15 years, 17 years, somewhere in that time frame. They're going to put in, as the gentleman said, almost $1 million. It will bring in, as you folks know, the city desperately needs revenue. This will bring in a lot of money for the city of Lynn, so EDIC strongly supports it.
Thank you, Mr. Scardell. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anyone else? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition, please come to the podium. State your name and your address.
Zachary Andrews, 26 Elwyn Street in Swampscott. The reason I'm speaking in opposition is I'll be building a 5-story building, 36 units directly behind him, so I'll be one of the abutters. During the construction phase with Picaro on one side, me on the back side, there's going to be plenty of construction going on, and especially right on the front side, I know that it's going to be gridlocked just because of Picaro. He's already taken one lane. There's only one lane going by there. First of all, I never even got proper notice. I don't know if they had the wrong address when they sent it to me or whatever it was, but that's one. And when I went to the community meeting at the police station, there was probably 25 or 30 people that were opposing it, none of them other than the pastors here today. So that's another issue that I have. I don't believe that everyone was served properly to come to this meeting. But getting back to me, not only will it be gridlocked, the parking issue is going to be horrendous. I already know what's going to happen with construction trucks. They're going to pull around, they're going to park somewhere just so they can drop off their load. Trash-wise, forget about it. I have no idea how they're going to pull up just a loaded truck if there's only one lane right now. So I don't believe all the tenants are really informed on the impact they're going to have for at least 18 to 24 months between Picaro and myself. Never mind, I believe it's an up-and-coming business for Massachusetts and for the city of Lynn, and I know it's generating plenty of money, but I just believe that there's better locations than right there, right now. Maybe down the line, maybe with all the other construction gone, that's fine, but as of right now, I don't believe that the tenants, especially right on Oxford Street, were well-informed and notified properly. And then if it does go, I know after the 18 and 24 months, never mind the tenants that I have, for the 36 units, everyone's going to be fighting because I believe we're going to put parking, or at least parking spaces on Andrew Street. That's not going to stop them from parking on the street, off-street parking. So I know the tenants that I have, or potentially will have, they're going to always be fighting for parking spaces. And that's why I'm opposed to this at this time.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else? Please state your name and your address, sir.
Hi, Kurt Lang, 17 Pine Road, Lynn. Just to make sure you know, I'm not addressing this as a moral issue here tonight. I have concerns about that, but that's not what my comments are about. I'm reminded that marijuana is not legal in the United States. It is still federally illegal. I am also reminded of the great consequence that we invite into our city by allowing these recreational marijuana stores to come in and to rest our financial hopes and dreams on the sale of drugs to our own citizens. This seems fundamentally flawed to me. And so I'm concerned in that regard, not about this store specifically, but about all of them. Second concern is that at the public meeting that I was at, where there were just a few of us at the police station, the comment was made that marijuana is not addictive, or either physically or physiologically addictive. This is refuted by all the major health organizations in the country and in the world. Marijuana has been proven to be addictive physically and in other ways to a significant portion of the users involved. I also want to remind you that there are dozens of organizations in this city that are actively fighting against drug abuse in the city and helping people overcome the consequences of their addictions. And this is a message that I think is very flawed for us, again, as a city. But my specific concerns have to do with the location. Downtown Lynn is not the location, is not the right location for any recreational marijuana shop in this city. We already think across the North Shore, where do you go to buy drugs? Go to downtown Lynn. Now we can do it legally. I understand that the tide is going a certain way. Downtown Lynn is not the place for this. I'd encourage you to reject this permit and all other permits for a downtown location of a recreational marijuana store. Thanks.
Thank you, Reverend. Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone else? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Before I open it up for a discussion, I'm going to ask Councilor Starbird, who is the chairman of the Cannabis Recreational Committee. What's the wish of the committee?
Thank you, Mr. President. The proponents came before our committee, which Mr. Cowdell is also a member of, presented all the documentation, answered all of our questions. We've done a little more investigative work ourselves, meeting with other folks and Mr. O'Donovan, and find that he is a qualified candidate, and we voted to approve on the Recreational Site Plan Committee
All right,
Mr.
thank you.
O'Donovan's proposal.
Councilor Jacutis.
Basically, what Councilor Starbird just said, we've met with them. We've had 2 meetings with the residents downtown Lynn. I understand Pastor Kirk with the marijuana, but it is legalized in the city of Lynn. We have to open so many recreational and medical facilities. It's nothing we can do. It's the law right now. We have to open them. I think, met with the owners, I think this is going to be a great thing for downtown, the revenue that it's going to bring into the city. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. Councilor Calucci.
Who owns the building it's going into?
That is owned by Matt O'Neill.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Councilor LaPierre.
Question on the amount or the approximate amount of hires for the location, Aiden?
12 to 15, 12 to
Full-time,
start, and then
part-time?
15, no, full-time. So the breakdown's roughly, be about 8 sales associates. They start at $15 an hour plus tips. The tips are, it's on the slowest Tuesday, you're still making $3 or $4 an hour in tips, and on a Friday evening shift, they're making $10, $15 an hour on tips on top of the base. And then middle management positions, inventory manager, floor managers that start at about $50,000 annually, and then general managers that open and close, have key to the building, that start at 80 and
Like
have
health insurance? to
yep,
those
full
folks?
benefits, and have and a lot of room for upward mobility.
I'm sure Ward 5 Councilor Chakutis has investigated, but I am curious about parking or alternative to parking. I imagine the Oxford Street lot's going to be available and those kind of things, but could we hear around the discussion around parking? Did you have any discussion? It's really directed toward Councilor Chakutis, or question about parking. Did that come up in the neighborhood, or address it through Mr.
Yeah,
O'Donovan?
so we are in the process of negotiating a parking lease on Andrew Street that one of the opponents brought up for, about 25 spots there. I mean, there's also the street parking, and there's also, it's also a very walkable area. And to the opponent, I mean, it sounds like our construction timelines, I mean, we're ready to move. I mean, if the city will expedite our building permit, we could be done before he breaks ground. So, I don't think our construction will get in the way. But back to the parking issue, we're negotiating those spaces 1 street over, and we also think that it's, with the way that the downtown Lynn is moving, I mean, it's becoming a much more walkable type of area. I mean, I know that there's always going to be parking concerns when you go anywhere, but this is starting to look much more like an urban environment where, you know, people are walking, people are commuting. I think the vast majority of people that are living in that new building are going to be commuters that don't necessarily have cars. I mean, I think that's kind of just the way that things are trending.
Anyone else? Councilor Field.
Thank you. I know there was a question about timing as far as opening. What is your expected time from now, if it's approved, as far as actually opening?
Absolutely. So I'll go over that real quick. We would build, if this is approved tonight, the next step is the community host agreement with the mayor's office. The statewide permitting process is less subjective. So we would build at risk, technically, without the state license in hand. We're not going to wait for the CCC to approve to build, because as long as we have a community host agreement signed by the mayor and we have a special permit from you, we feel like that's enough to essentially ensure our ultimate licensure with the Cannabis Control Commission. So if this gets approved tonight, we would hope to have a community host agreement signed in the next, ideally in the next week or so, but maybe it would take 2 or 3 weeks. That's going to depend on the mayor's office and how quickly they want to turn that around. From there, we would submit building plans. We've already, we've engaged Rohde Architects. They did the renderings that you've seen. They've built dispensary, they're building a dispensary for us in Dorchester. They would probably get something submitted to the building department within 3 weeks of the CHA being signed. So hopefully, 30 days from now, we can submit to the building department. I've never built anything in Lynn, so I can't speak to how quickly the building department's going to turn that around and get it stamped so we can break ground. But we're funded. We have contractors we like. We always bid every project individually, but we could be submitted to the building department in as little as 30 days. If they turn it around in 2 weeks, we could be building here by the end of February. So I know that sounds pretty aggressive, but I think it's pretty reasonable to think that we're going to be breaking ground in March. And I know that building needs a lot of work. It's an understatement, but I still don't see that being more than a 20 to 22 week construction timeline.
And then opening from that point?
And then opening from that point once we're done with construction of a certificate of occupancy.
All permitted and licensed?
Yeah, of course.
By the state?
Yeah, the state licensing would happen concurrently with the construction. They come through for a final inspection once you're done, but the majority of it would take place at the same time.
You all set?
I'll come back.
Councilor Net.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excuse me. If this doesn't pass tonight, are you going to stick in Lynn or go somewhere else? I'm sorry, I have a...
I think I misunderstood the question.
If this doesn't pass tonight...
Oh, if this doesn't pass, sorry.
Right. So will you stay in Lynn or you looking to go somewhere else?
So this is the only site that we have in contention in Lynn right now. We don't have any other sites that we're considering here.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Motion made, seconded, roll call. This is for approval.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
No.
No. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey? Absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys. I look forward to taking the next steps and working with you, the city. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you. Public hearings to be set down.
We have the petition of Eli Volinsky of 10 Fiddler Crabtree Lane in Mashpee, Mass., owner of Tree Market LLC, to operate a marijuana retail business at 3 Mount Vernon Street. Petition of National Grid for grant of location at 693 Western Ave to feed a new pad mount transformer for a 24-unit apartment building.
Set him down.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. President?
Councilor Seer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to take off the table 330 Chatham Street.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made, second. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to approve with some stipulations. They showed me a new plan for lesser use, actually. The previous plan showed 2 units with 2 bedrooms. They're going to make it 2 units with 1 bedroom. And also, I believe, and I checked with the law office, or law department, they will need approval from zoning for parking. So with the lesser use, the 1 bedrooms, and approval from zoning, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the special permit for the change of use of this space in that building.
Motion approved.
Motion made, second. Any discussion?
Can I just
I just-
ask the council, exactly where on Chatham is this in relation to?
It's
Holland Street or
330, it's right across from, where the apartment buildings are by Hood School there.
Oh, Oakwood Ave,
Right on the corner, there's a
around the
beauty
bin.
parlor
I
there.
gotcha. Thank you.
There's parking on the side of the building already. But also, they did go around and they did talk to some of the neighbors who live on that place and ask if they had any issues with it. And I want to add this to the minutes of the meeting tonight. So with that being said, I make a motion to approve with this stipulation.
Any other discussions? Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Committee reports, utilities, Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have unanimous vote of the committee, motion to approve.
Motion made to approve,
Second.
seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Recreational Cannabis Site Plan Review Board, Councilor Starbed.
Mr. President, unanimous vote of the committee to allow proposed facility, Massachusetts Green Retail, that's 829 Boston Street, to move forward to the next step, which is special permit application. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes. Ways and Means, Councilor Net.
Thank you, Mr. President. I voted of the committee to approve and make a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Would the clerk read all the transfers, please?
Transfer the sum of $54,690.55 from the account of reserve to the account of various departments to fund sick and personal buyback per collective bargaining. Transfer the sum of $114,000 from the account of outside tuition expense to the account of Lynn Police Department expense to fund the purchase of security cameras. Certifies an available fund the amount of $222,133.63 as allotted to the City of Lynn Police Department by the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security for the FY19 Shannon Community Safety Initiative Grant. Certifies an available fund the amount of $299,414 as allotted as an amended amount of additional funding to the City of Lynn by Transportation Bond Bill Chapter 90 for FY19.
It's the wish of the committee.
Approved.
Motion made, seconded. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Starbed?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Seer?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Net, were there emergencies
Yeah, the all for emergency, I want to make a motion to approve that.
Motion made.
Second.
Seconded, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Absolutely.
Yes, Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes. Licensing, Counsel Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had unanimous vote of committee motion approved.
Motion made to approve, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
RFP Subcommittee, Attorney Lamanna.
Unanimous vote of the committee to advertise the RFP.
Motion made.
Second.
Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes. Public Properties and Parks, Counsel Staben.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unanimous vote of the committee to table the granting of an easement at 265 Broadway. Unanimous vote of the committee to approve the Lynn Police Department to dispose of 12 surplus vehicles. Unanimous vote of the committee to approve Sacred Heart's request to hang a banner on Boston Street announcing school registration. And unanimous vote of the committee to put out to bid city-owned property at 42R Whiting Street to abutters for non-buildable purposes. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Calucci?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Field?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Lozey, absent. Counsel Net?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Staben?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Counsel Seer?
Yes. Any new business? Any old business?
I got old business.
Let's hear it.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Second.
All those in
Patriots?
favor?
Aye.
Good meeting.